بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله عليك سيدي ومولاي يا رسول الله. صلى الله عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. صلى الله عليك سيدتي ومولاتي يا زهراء يا زهراء. السلام عليك سيدي ومولاي أيها الإمام الحسن. السلام عليك سيدي يا أبا عبد الله. السلام على ابن خاتم الأنبياء. السلام على ابن السيد الأوصياء. السلام على ابن فاطمة الزهراء. السلام على ابن خديجة الكبرى. السلام على ابن سدرة المنتهى. السلام على ابن جنة المأوى. السلام على ابن زمزم والصفا. السلام على المرمل بالدماء. السلام على المهتوك الخباء. السلام على خامس أصحاب الكساء. السلام على غريب الغرباء. السلام على شهيد الشهداء. السلام على قتيل الأدعياء. السلام على الساكن بكربلاء. السلام على القتيل المظلوم. السلام على أخيه المسموم. السلام على علي الكبير. السلام على الرضيع الصغير. السلام على الشيب الخضيب. السلام على الخد التريب. السلام على البدن السليم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. غريب كربلاء، مظلوم كربلاء، الشهيد كربلاء. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. صلوات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، والصلاة والسلام على النبي الهاشمي المدني الأبطحي التهامي السيد البهي السراج المضيء الكوكب الدري صاحب الوقار والسكينة المدفون بالمدينة، العبد المؤيد الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد، حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد، وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين، لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين، صاحب العصر والزمان الإمام المهدي المنتظر عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Almighty Allah says in the Holy Quran in Surah At-Tawbah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم ويأبى الله إلا أن يتم نوره ولو كره الكافرون يريدون أن يطفئوا بأفواههم ويأبى الله إلا أن يتم نوره ولو كره الكافرون هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. First and foremost, dear brothers and sisters, I would like to genuinely thank you for making the time tonight, being the New Year's Eve, which we know that there are many options out there how to spend the night, but being here shows how much committed that you would like the mentioning of Ahlul Bayt Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhim, the word Ya Hussein, the remembrance of Lady Zainab alayhi salam through her struggles as she went from Karbala, taken to Sham and back to Karbala, then to the holy city of Medina, shows your commitment, shows your willingness to sacrifice in the way of Allah Azza wa Jal, although also we know it's just another night, another day. And it is good to make use of it in such a manner, in such a way, and for that I would like to thank all of you, and let us recite Allah's salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Al-Imam al-Sadiq salamullahi ta'ala alayhi said, لَقَدْ تَجَلَّ اللَّهُ لِخَلْقِهِ فِي كَلَامِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. Allah Azza wa Jal manifested Himself to His creation through His words. Allah manifested Himself to His creation, we are the creation, through His words. What does this mean? When I use language, the purpose of language is not the words itself. When I talk to you, I'm using words. I'm composing letters, the letters compose words, the words make sentences, the sentences themselves carry something specific in them. They carry a meaning. The meaning is what I try to relate to you, so you and I have an idea of that reality outside which I am trying to explain. So the meaning is what we try to capture. So the meaning is the ultimate goal of listening to the words of Allah Azza wa Jal, so we can capture a good understanding of what is meant by the words that are recited in the Holy Quran. In order to capture the meaning, there ought to be a form of reflection. وَلَكِنْ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. There has to be some insight put into this word, so the word can become meaningful to you and I. If I have gold in front of me, but the gold is something meaningless to me, I cannot use it, does it carry any value? The value of the words of Allah Azza wa Jal is in what it does to me and the change it does to me. The value of the words of Allah Azza wa Jal in its ability not to only move me but to engage me, because ultimately what is the most important in the universe of all beings to me, it is me first, and then I get to know everything else. So what is important is the eye needs to understand the meaning in order for the eye to have that growth. In these series of lectures that I will be, inshallah, sharing with you in these nights, the core of these lectures is the eye. Me, the eye. Because everything we try to build is to help the eye in its growth. And we realize that the eye needs to be attracted to the meanings. There must be some sort of engagement between the self, the eye, and the meaning I'm trying to capture. This is one of the most and the hardest of all tasks. How do I let myself, the eye, engage with the words of Allah Azza wa Jal? Once there is engagement, what kind of engagement? When I recited the verse, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, I want you to examine yourself. Let go, free your mind for a second. And I'm going to ask you as I recite for some questions. يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم. One. And I want now, listen to it differently. يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم. What is the difference between the first recitation and the second recitation? Tell me. Someone tell me. Intensity. What else? Better recitation. What else? What's that? Time? I'm wasting your time. What else? Emotion. Give me more. Yet, what's that? Power. Yet, we did not even cover the meaning of the words. But the verse recited the delivery method impacted what in you? It's you, the eye. But what was impacted? The heart. It impacted the spirit. It impacted even the mind. How did it impact the mind? How did my intellect get impacted by these recitations? Simply, the heart got attached and engaged with the voice. It got engaged with the intensity, with the emotions, with the power of what though? Of the voice. Knowing there's something good in it. What is it? I don't know. Therefore, even the mind at that level gets engaged to say, find out what it means. Where does the problem lie? When I stop at the engagement of the emotions, leaving the intellect. That is a problem. Remember the model. I think I talked about this model before. In cognitive psychology, 3 things. Behavior, you look at the behavior, you ask why, it's because of the emotions. In emotions, you look, why is someone having such emotions? Because of the thoughts. Thoughts produce emotions, emotions produce behavior. Very simple. You see the intensity of a recitation, a behavior, you ask about the emotions that it is carrying. But if you stop right there, you missed the what? The thought. The thought would be what? The wrong thought. If all I am reciting and I'm engaged in is the beautiful recitation, the thought built on this engagement is what? Oh my God, I love the voice. It becomes another what? Form of, God forbid, of what? There you go. Wow, look at it, so beautiful. But what does it mean? Oh my God, it's excellent. But what does it, have you ever seen when you recite Dua Kumail? The voice is beautiful, but what is the meaning? We are moved by the voice because we're crying for our own problems. Not what the Imam ﷺ taught. Why are we supplicating to Allah Azza wa Jal? The importance of this, dear brothers and sisters, defines your life. Let me explain this as I introduce the topic tonight. How many of you guys and ladies worked on wireless networks? Set up a wireless network at home. Raise your hand. Wireless network, wireless network. Okay, that's not a good example. Then how many of you guys have cell phones on you? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Okay, let me use that. Let me come up with the cell phone example better. When I use a cell phone, have you ever tried to put some kind of, when you want to make a phone, what do? You turn it on, then what do? You look at where it shows what? Something very obvious. The buttons, the 12 squares, because 0 through 9 and the star and the hash, right? Pound sign. Where you see that, you click on it. What happens then? Intuitive. You try to call the number. Then what is there? There's usually that phone icon. Why? You click on it, it sends the call. It's very simple. Right or wrong? Do you need a lot of trials and errors? Sometimes, okay, maybe, hold on, let me try this. It didn't work this way. Let me look at another icon. Maybe that will send it. I tried here, I tried there, and then boom. Okay, now I have a signal. I try to do something else. Also, I try it. Maybe I fail. What do? When I fail, it doesn't work. What do? What do you do when you try to do something on your cell phone and it doesn't work? What do? Try again. And if it fails, what do? What's that? Then you ask someone after the second time? Wow. Okay, try again. What's that? What do you use the computer for? Okay. No. Any of you actually looks at the manual? Please tell me who was any one of you, I challenge any one of you, actually looked at the cell phone manual to figure out what to do. What do we do? Try, error, try, error. Okay, how do you do this? And nowadays, my niece, she's like, I don't know how old, she's like this tall. Okay, she's very, very young. Or just short, actually. What happened is, now she can like roam around the cell phone and do all sorts of things. Like, I remember they tried to figure something out. It's like, here's how you do it. And she clicked a few things on here. She figured it out on herself. Do you need a lot of learning for this? It's intuitive. It's very simple. It doesn't work, you try it out. It doesn't work, you try it again. You try it. You reboot it. You reset it. What my nephew did, though, tried to lock the cell phone. Somehow something happened, you know, in the settings because he wanted to be more advanced, and now there is a password. He's like, Uncle, this is not opening. I'm like, what is the password? He's like, I'm not sure. So what do? He doesn't know the password. What do you do usually when you don't know the password and it's locked? There you go. You go factory reset, restore. Boom. You reset it. Why? I don't know what to do. Just reset it. Go try, start again. But let me ask you. Let's say I really had very important data on that cell phone. Very, very important data. And I could not just reset it. I need someone to break into that cell phone and do what? And retrieve that information. Do I give it to my niece and nephew to do that? Where do I have to go? I have to go to an expert to walk me through how to retrieve the data. Why? Because at that point, it's not about trial and error. It's about sensitive data. If I mess it up, I can lose everything. Right or wrong? My question to you is this. Is your life a matter of trial and error and reboot, or a matter of actual learning and expert learning? As simple as that. What is your life like? I'll live, I'll see, it doesn't work, I'll try something else. Once you live, see, try something else, you just wasted time, and all you have is time. The funny thing is what? You don't know how much of it you do. You don't know how much of time you have, yet you're gambling with it. Every time you're taking chances and you're not calculated about what you're doing with your time, what are you doing? You're gambling with it. And when you gamble with it, what are you really doing? You are burning your time. And the one thing that doesn't come back is what? Time. It passes by. Imam, Commander of the Faithful, Ali ibn Abi Talib says, it passes like a passing cloud. You can't capture it. It's gone. So, what is the most important thing when you are trying to understand your life? Go by trying to set up and see what's going on and just try, or are you going to actually put the time and effort to understand and capture the meaning of this life? Dear brothers and sisters, all that we are doing is trying to explain the meaning of this life so you and I do not waste the time in this life. Really, this equation is very simple. We do not need to complicate it. Allah Azza wa Jal gave us the whole entire Quran for what purpose? أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Do you think you were created in vain and you shall not come back to us? It is summoned up in one verse. إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. Do I own myself? Do you own yourself? The amazing part, the I in each and every one of us. Let me ask you this. Give me your undivided attention. I'm going to drill you tonight until I awaken this on New Year's Eve. What is it that you actually own? Give me something you truly own. It is absolutely yours. I'm all ears. Someone tell me. The soul is yours? If it's yours, you would have absolute control over it. Do you control when to die? Did you control when you lived? Did you control when you were born? You don't even have control. You don't even have ownership of your soul. So what is it? Simply Allah gave it to you and you shall give it back. The question will be, how well did you take care of it? The soul that God has given to you, He has given to you the awareness of it through the eye. The moment you realize it, the soul, the moment you realize one thing called responsibility towards that it. And continuously you will find something sparked when the awareness started. What is that? Trying to be better. Always trying to evolve the soul, the self, to what? To a better elevation, to a better level, to become better, to become more perfect in everything you and I do. In everything, absolutely, we are trying to become better. Even subconsciously we don't think about it. But anything we do, deep in our subconscious, we're doing it because we believe it is the way for us to be better. We strive to become better. يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح. Oh man, you are struggling. إلى ربك كدحا. To your Lord such a struggle. فملاقيه. Then you shall meet Him. فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا. If you are yearning and longing to meet your Lord, you should enjoin good, do the good deeds, and don't associate with Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal is giving us all the ways, the means, the processes, the goals, the objectives, the purpose, everything. What is missing? What is missing to us, in us? Our awareness to all of this. When Allah Azza wa Jal delivers everything to you and I, where is the problem? Why don't we take it? Why don't we take it? See, if I don't resolve this issue with the eye, with my nafs, if I do not resolve the issue of my nafs, my eye, why is there an obstacle that the words of Allah Azza wa Jal is not reaching to the heart, to the self and changing it? I'm in big trouble. Allah says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله. They want to extinguish the light of Allah. بأفواههم, with their mouths. ويأبى الله إلا أن يتم نوره. And Allah refuses except to perform what? Itmam. We're going to explain later on in these nights what does it mean, the word itmam, yutimma, His light. All of the believers dislike it. Dislike the light of Allah Azza wa Jal. What is the secret of this light of Allah? What does it mean when they say in the Holy Quran, Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. Mathalu nurih. The example of His life. And Allah gives us the example. What does that light mean and what does it relate to us? To you and I. The more I understand the different elements in the verses of the Holy Quran, I start linking the dots together, connecting those dots together, the more something starts lighting in me. Something starts opening in my mind, starts what? Realizing something I never realized before. My soul starts capturing the meanings of the words of Allah. It is when I start capturing the meaning of the words of Allah Azza wa Jal, where do I find the miracle then? I find it, the miracle of the Holy Quran, in the way these words and verses come together to draw to us a perfect picture of this universe, for it is a reflection of its creator. And Allah is all perfect, creates perfection. Allah, all good, gives and emanates goodness. This is essential to understand. The building blocks of your thoughts to understand this universe. If you don't understand the universe under and through the lens of the Holy Quran, let me tell you, you will be rebooting, resetting, retrying your life until you end up nowhere. The choice is yours. Literally, the choice is yours. Do you know, by the way, where do we fail? Most of us are interested to learn and can learn. Very simple. We can be taught. The problem is not in teaching you the concepts and principles. Believe me. Quran, Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, the teachings of Allah, it came wired for us. We accepted and they delivered it in the best of manners. Where is the problem then? The problem in us willing to commit for that change. Our sense of will is so weak, we fail. We fail at what? At putting the simple things that we understand into action. Believe me, it's not rocket science. Allah Azza wa Jal made things so simple to us. The problem is our lack of will. And by the way, this whole universe, this whole life of yours, what is it about? الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم. He created this death and life for what purpose? To test you. This test is for what purpose? There is an underlying statement here. What is the purpose of being tested? God really needs to know. God doesn't know exactly what you're going to do. To God, it's all the same. It's all known. Take time out of it, and there is no need for it in Allah. Allah Azza wa Jalla knows it all. It is for us to realize it. For us to realize what is it that we're capable of. Number one. Number two, to strengthen our will. The testing and the trials that we are going through are made and shaped for what purpose? So you and I become what? More willing. Let me explain something clearly. Some of us say, ask, could I have been different? Could I have been someone else? I wish I was the Imam. I wish I was Abu Dhar. I wish I was Ammar. I wish I was Habib ibn Mudahir. I wish. Let me clarify this. Could Yazid been different Yazid? Different Yazid. Meaning, Could we have had Yazid ibn Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan today and not with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam? And could Yazid have been different? Meaning, could he have chosen differently? If you say he could not have chosen differently, then you take Allah's justice out of the equation, and that's not allowed. But Allah Azza wa Jal gives every individual, knowing their capacity, gives them the elements and the environment so they can reach the highest capacity and the lowest. The choice is whose? Is the person. But Yazid chose that, and he dragged himself further down. He did it. No one else did it for him. Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullahi ta'ala alayh. Look at the commander of the faithful, Ali ibn Abi Talib salamullahi ta'ala alayh. Look at what he did. Look at how this human being, this creation of Allah Azza wa Jal, completely in his worship sees only one. What is it? He sees Allah Azza wa Jal. He took the I completely out of the equation. I don't worship you seeking what? Your heaven. Or fearing what? Your hell. No. But it's because of you are worthy of worship, I worship you. There is no I in the equation. But come to Iblis. What did Iblis say? I worship you the way I want because I am better. Two extremes. Two complete extremes. The question is, us today and now. All that there is out there is an example for you and I, dear brothers and sisters. What are choices? And what will we end up choosing? Simple. And in every moment of your life, you're making a choice. And Allah gave you all these signs as guides. As-salamu alayka ya safinat al-najat. The vessel of safety. Why? Because when I pick and choose, that's when I decide I want to be like him. I want to imitate. I want to copy. I want to become like them. And dear brothers and sisters, it is today that we ask ourselves. And I want you to keep on asking this question. Who is today my living example? And how am I related to him? We'll be addressing the light of Allah. And what I would like us to capture at the end of this series of lectures, the meaning of the light of Allah today, to me, and have I captured it or not? To do this, I need you to challenge your minds. I need you to ask yourselves the tough questions. What have I, not anyone else, what have I done? If you don't ask that question, you don't try to explore the thoughts that build this in you, you've been wasting your time. And in this, dear brothers and sisters, we go hand in hand with Lady Zainab salamullahi ta'ala alayha and what she has been doing and what she did. When we go to Karbala, we live few moments in Karbala. We see some tragedies taking place in Karbala and took place in Karbala. If we go to Karbala on the 10th day of Muharram, the moment Imam Hussein alayhi salam was martyred in the battlefield. Dear brothers and sisters, the enemies of Allah attacked the camp of Imam Hussein. As they attacked the camp of Imam Hussein, they lit the fire in the camp, in the tents. You see the women and the children each running in a different direction. They would be calling, Wa Husayna, Wa Abbasa. Oh father, oh brother, oh uncle. Each one calling. The enemies of Allah would go running after the children, trying to capture anything from them, stealing whatever they can. Even the young girls, as they were running for their lives, the enemies of Allah were trying to steal their earrings. They were trying to steal whatever they can have their hands on. One of the enemies of Allah kept on going after this young girl. He could not catch up with her. He hit her with the end of the spear, where she fell on the grounds of Karbala. Lady Zainab alayha salam came to collect all the children, all the women. She saw this young girl laying on the land of Karbala. She took her in her hand, she put her on her lap, and she started crying. The tears flowed from Lady Zainab's eyes, fell on this little girl. She opened her eyes, looking at Lady Zainab. Amma Zainab, Auntie Zainab, شنو اللي صار بينا? What happened to us, Auntie Zainab? وين أبونا حسين؟ وين عمنا عباس؟ Where's our father Hussein? Where's our uncle Abbas? عم زينب، عم زينب، Auntie Zainab, Auntie Zainab. Another young girl, as she was running, one of the soldiers told her, don't run, I will not harm you. She looked at him, he looked at her and said, what is it you need? She asked him, show me the direction for Najaf. They say this young lady from the camp of Imam Hussein directed herself to the grave of Imam Ali from far and said, Sayyidi Imam, oh, where are you? Why did you leave us? Why did you leave us? Why did you leave us in a day like this? Imam Hussein, martyred in the land of Karbala. غريب حسين مظلوم حسين الشهيد حسين يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. We ask you, Allah, to accept the little we are offering in these nights, to forgive us our sin, to release us from the fire of hell بحق محمد وآل محمد, to accept us, Ya Allah, to never let us away from the wilayah of Ali ibn Abi Talib. اللهم بحق فاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها وسر المستودع فيها والتسعة المعصومين من ذرية الإمام الحسين, answer our call, fulfill our requests, and let us recite and offer the blessings of recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha to the souls of all those deceased ones after Salat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. تقبل الله.